Welcome to my channel Skilltone. How are you my dear learners? In this video tutorial we are going to discuss about time series forecasting model such as error correction and co-integration technique in more detail for our machine learning and data science tutorial. Time series is a very interesting forecasting technique which you can apply for your machine learning and data science project. In today's video, I'm going to use a machine learning dataset from Kaggle, which you have seen here, time series forecasting with Yahoo stock price, the dataset which I'm going to use for my demonstration purpose using eViews for error correction and co-integration model. So without further delay, let's get started. Welcome to my channel Dr. Munshi Nasser Skilltone. In my channel, I try to highlight different skills, the skills that matter for your career. These mostly are data science, machine learning with economics and business, life skills, educational how-to questions and many more. If you like my effort, do subscribe my channel. Now my dear learners, we are going to discuss about the Yahoo stock dataset. Over the time period from 2015, the daily stock data up until 2019, we have a huge data set for the stock price movement. So in this particular data set, we have the volume of transaction in each day. We have open and close volume during that day and high and low prices or movement of the stock during that day. And of course at the adjacent close we will of course add to our model. So in this model we are going to use this machine learning dataset from Kaggle, and this project that we are using, in this particular case we will use volume as our dependent variable and close, open, low and high frequency of our stock movement of the market is our independent variable. Okay, my dear learners, we are discussing about error correction model for co-integration and time series analysis. So what is error correction model? Usually, let's assume that we have a data set. Over the time period, the data set movement like this. Let's assume that this is our consumption data set, okay? Consumption data set of a particular country, and we have our income data set, okay? So these two series of data set are moving upward and very close direction. So by looking at this small diagram, we can understand that there is a long run relationship. However, this data set does not give you a stationary or the point to point fast difference movement of the data points. So in order to convert it for stationary purpose, we have to take the fast difference of these two data series. So what we will expect after taking the data series, it will be something like this, okay? So now how this concept of long run data series comes to the error correction model. So let me explain it in a more non-technical way. Let's assume that you have a model where you are interested to know the short run impact of your dependent and independent variable relationship. At the same time, you would like to know the long run relationship of these two variables, your dependent and independent variables. Okay? Now, my dear learners, for instance, if this is your objective, then first you establish that whether these two variables has a long run relationship or not. And for that reason, we are going to apply the co-integration test. Co-integration will tell you whether these two variables have long run relationship. If these two variables has a long run relationship, then we can convert these data sets into stationary, and after that we will see whether the movement of the data set, for instance, if we have this type of movement and then like this way the data is moving, in that case you see this line is something called the equilibrium line. So we are interested to know that whether our data set are maintaining a steady equilibrium transactions or equilibrium projections. Okay, so it is very important to know whether your data set coming back to the equilibrium point at a consistent time period. So if this is going upward for a little while and then it come back to the equilibrium point, and the distance between this and this will always be the same in the case of usual co-integration model. But what if the model is not showing a consistent or stable movement? In that case, sometimes what happen, you are not coming back to your equilibrium point. It go up and after some time it stays there, and then again it comes like this way. So maybe your equilibrium point coming after 1 or 2 interval. So there is some error or shock in these two data sets, right? So in order to understand how we can minimize this shock and then restore our data set by correcting the shock to our normal equilibrium line, we apply error correction model. By seeing the name of the model error correction, it means that the problem or the shock that we are facing in our long run two data sets relationship, this relationship or shock, we will adjust it or correct it by our error correction model technique. So error correction model is nothing but to restore your equilibrium point of long run data sets, and it will move to the equilibrium point by correcting the disequilibrium or error or shock of this from this data set. So we understand what error correction model does and why it is important for your machine learning purpose, because machine learning after all is a prediction, and to make a accurate prediction we need to adjust the shock or structural shock of the economy or the variables time to time, and therefore we need error correction model. Now let's come back to our data set that we are using, the stock data set, and discuss about the key features of error correction model in little bit more detail. Okay, now it is very difficult to predict a stock's future price based only on past prices, which we usually do in machine learning. You need to incorporate other data into your model. For instance, in our data set we have volume of the stock, also we have open, close, and of course the adjacent close variable in our data set as well, to get a better prediction accuracy by accounting for shocks to the stock prices. So shock is a very important term that we have just explained. An obvious piece of data to start with are market movements. That's what we are talking about. If the market is tanking, I mean the shrinking or falling, in that case, I mean due to the shock, your stock could be at risk of tanking as well, I mean shrinking or falling. You can include lags of market price data to capture the short-run relationship between the market and factors. So we are talking about the difference, okay? And difference is something called the marginal effect in economics. So first difference is the marginal effect, okay? But what about their long-run relationship? That's where the error correction model or ECM is useful. It includes a term for the deviation from the long run relationship that estimates how much of the disequilibrium will disappear in the next forecasting period. So for instance, if we know the lag of this, then we can easily predict of this. If the error term or ECT, you can say there is a lag of adjustment term, we can add to our model. Therefore we can predict using our past data to the future stock price or volume more accurately. Now what are the steps to do our ECM or error correction model analysis? The first step is, it is important to establish co-integration before estimating an ECM. So it is very important to establish a co-integration relationship. As I told you that co-integration is the long run relationship of the two variables. So co-integration essentially means two time series Y and X in our case, or volume of stock and maybe the movement of its high price or low price, have a long run relationship. If there isn't a long run relationship, an error correction model is not appropriate and we cannot apply ECM. So first we have to apply the co-integration and then only we can go for error correction model. To test for co-integration, we perform a linear regression first. Step 1 is to just perform your linear regression. For instance, if you have a data set, Y is your total volume of stock, and then we have intercept, and then maybe a beta 1 is your X1 independent or explanatory variable, beta 2 is your X2 or explanatory variable, and then we have a small error term in the regression. So X2, XT here meaning that high price maybe, and X2 meaning that low price, the relationship with your stock volume of a particular time period. Let's say in our case 2015 to 2019, all the stock data, daily stock data, high frequency data of Yahoo stock. So that is called our first step of making the linear regression. After linear regression, after performing the linear regression on our independent variable, test the residual for stationary. So once we run this regression, we take the residual series of this regression, and how we can do that I will demonstrate using eViews. So take the residual series from this regression. Number 2 step is, after estimating the model on our sample period, we must test the residual for stationary. So we take the residual series from our regression model and then we test the residual series, because it is a long run data of course. We will try to make, we would like to see whether it is a stationary or not. If the stationary at level, the residual series comes stationary at levels and the two variables, let's say YT and XT, are stationary at first difference, then only we can move to error correction model. Remember my dear learners, the two variables should be stationary at the first difference and your stationary of the series, residual series, should be stationary at the level, and only these two conditions, if these two conditions fulfills, only then you can move to ECM test after your co-integration test. Okay, now if we have co-integration, we are ready to proceed because of the two conditions that I just explained. If not, we have a tough question to ask ourselves. If there is not these conditions of two variables are stationary at the first difference and the residual series is not stationary at level, if this condition is not fulfilled, in that case we have to ask ourselves, is there a strong theoretical justification for our long run relationship to exist? If not, the ECM is not a fit for our problem. Step 3. Now, since we established the two conditions, estimating the error correction model is the step 3 of our process. Now that we have our residuals and have differentiated our data, assuming it is integrated at level 1, two variables, and of course stationary of the residual series at level, we can attach the residuals to our data set and lag them by one period to estimate our ECM. So the ECM model of our dataset looks like this: the stock price volume, the difference, and then the intercept. Then we have the first difference or marginal impact or short-term impact of high frequency of our movement of the market, and then we have open dataset. When it opens at that time, what is the volume or price of the dataset, and then we have a close time volume or movement of the market. And then we have our long run ECT, error correction term. This is our leg. Remember my dear learners, we can see here that the relationship between these differences tells you the short term impact of the model or marginal impact of the model, and using this term ECT by taking one lag period to find out the disequilibrium or the speed of correction from any shock. By using this term, we can easily incorporate in our model to find out the long run relationship. So this term up until this time is the short run relationship with our independent variable, and this term will show you the long run relationship of our dependent variable of this particular model. So what is our final comment of theoretical justification? It is vital to note that coefficient of error correction is negative. It should be, the result should comes, the ECT term should comes as negative, and then it should be significant as well. Why negative? Because it shows that how much error is there to correct. Okay, so let's say if you have 10 the equilibrium point, and every time the data set comes 10, then there is no issue, right? It is a consistent. But all on a sudden, at times it comes 10, and then the equilibrium point is 20, and then again it comes 10, and then again it comes 10. So there is a gap here, right? Because the two equilibrium point here, this one and this one, are not consistent. So minus 10 is our problem. If we subtract this one, we will get minus 10. So this minus 10 is the extra shock that we are facing in our model, because all the equilibrium point of our long run relationship is 10. Okay, meaning that if we have a data set and this is our 10, a consistent equilibrium point, and the data set will move like this and coming to the data points. But sometimes what happen, if the data set moves something like this and then again come to the point, then this is a shock that we are talking about, which is consist of minus 10. And so these ECT or error correction we can do, and we need to know how we can adjust it. So we can estimate this one, and we can say our 1.0%, I mean 0.1%, we need to adjust to restore our equilibrium point from the shock or disequilibrium positions. So the lagged residuals from the linear regression, the lag residuals of the linear regression represent the deviation from the long run relationship in the previous period. Just now we explained from our model. Now let's turn this theoretical concept into our eViews demonstration. Now my dear learners, this is eViews 10 and this is our Yahoo stock data. Just drag and drop, and you do not have to do anything. Just next, 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 and finish. Now that we have our dataset in the eViews, you can see here our dataset into eViews. Okay, now we will perform the regression one by one. So first run the regression, right? First run the regression. So how can we do that? By taking the value of, opening the value of the variables. Like for example, we can say here our data set is the volume, right? Volume. Then we have open, low, high. Okay, and let's say we can turn into close as well, and then let's see, we will perform it using the equation. So we have equation of volume dependent variable, open, low, high, close, and C is our intercept. Click this one. So we have our first regression volume. This is our first regression outcome. So this is the step 1. I mean step 1 is our performing the first regression. And now we take the residuals. How to take the residuals? We go to proc, go to the make residual series, click this one, and we can change the name. We are talking about ECT, error correction term. Then we press OK. Now we have our regression line. Now we can apply the unit truth test on our regression. That is our third step. And how can we do that? We can go to view, okay, and then we have unit truth test, and we are talking about the level. This is our first condition. Press OK, and you can see this is a strong probability. So our null hypothesis is ECT does not have, or it has a unit root. It has a unit root, but if we have a ECT, the t statistics value of augmented Dickey-Fuller test comes probability 0,0, it means that we can reject our null hypothesis, which means ECT does not have a unit root. So if this comes significant, we can reject our null hypothesis. So we can reject our null hypothesis. So this is our most important, one of the most important condition for our ECM test. Okay, now that we understand this one, now we can run the short run model of ECT. Okay, so how can we do that? We can go to quick, we can estimate the equation. Okay, now that we are taking our differences. Now we take D volume, C as our intercept, D the difference, open is our variable, then we have D first difference, close first difference, meaning that we are taking the short, we are looking at the short run impact, and then we have high is our variable in another. Here also we have high. Okay, so this is the high volume of the day of the stock price movement in the market. And then we have our residual. So we have ECT, remember our residual. So we take ECT and we are taking -1 is our lag, I mean the lag of ECT variables, the lag of ECT. So all these terms are the short term impact, the differences, and ECT, the residual, the lag of lag we are taking -1, like this way is our long run impact. So we click OK, and now that we have found this one, we can see here our ECT, error correction term, comes negative minus, which is important for our error correction model, and you can see the standard of this is significant as well. So negative and highly significant. So our model shows that yes, our ECT can adjust our model of shock per day 21% or 0.21% is our error correction term, I mean per unit 21%. Okay, per unit 21% of adjustment can occur in the model in order to restore our equilibrium from the shock. So there is a shock in the time series, and that shock can be adjusted through the error correction model, and the adjustment speed of that adjustment is -0.21, and this is highly significant. So our long run relationship of the variable D volume of the stock has a co-integration and all the conditions that I have showed you fulfilled, and our ECT is performing well, and it's showing that what is the speed of correction from the shock or disequilibrium to restore our model into equilibrium. And using this term we can easily do that because it comes negative and also significant. With that, my dear learners, we can easily convert our long run disequilibrium into equilibrium by ECM or ECT, whatever you say, error correction technique in the time series. So error correction technique and co-integration are very important for our machine learning purpose as well, and which I already demonstrated in this video. If the sign, let's say if you ask me, if doctor the sign comes maybe insignificant, if it is a insignificant comes, I mean this is a insignificant, in that case we can follow a Henry 1980 model to set general, okay, to set general to specific model, to set general to specific model using legs of our dependent, here we taking the first difference, right? But if it is insignificant, the ECT is or ECM is coming insignificant, that in that case our dependent variable we will take lag, instead of taking D we will take volume -1. As I told you, in the case of ECT I take -1 is the lag, so we take in views -1, volume -1 is our lag of dependent variable, and all the independent variable that we use taking the lag. If we take the lag, then only we can again see and restore our equilibrium from the disequilibrium point. And this is how we can establish the error correction model using E-views, and of course the steps and theoretical underpinnings of our today's discussion. I hope this is useful for your time series analysis understanding, and if you have any questions, please inbox me in this video, and if you need any help, please of course let me know. I will get back to you as soon as possible. And if you think it's a valuable video for your career or for your data analysis, please do subscribe for more interesting tutorials, because in the next tutorial I'm going to show you how you can start your data science and machine learning process of quick and step-wise guideline for the beginners like economics or accounting or non-computer science background people, how they can start data science and machine learning project and the process very easily and smartly. Okay, and next video I will demonstrate that. So stay tuned, do subscribe and also share with your friends. Thank you. Bye bye.